What if the words you've been waiting your whole life to hear finally come but at the very moment when everything feels too late? That's the heart of Conrad's confession to Belly in The Summer I Turned Pretty Season 3, Episode 10. For seasons, he has been holding back, hiding his feelings under layers of silence, distance, and fear. But when he finally lets go, his words are simple, raw, and unforgettable. I will never not love you. It's not just a love confession, it's a truth he can't bury anymore, a truth that rewrites everything between them, Conrad and Belly's love story has never been easy. From the very beginning, their connection was written in stolen glances, awkward silences, and moments that spoke louder than words. But it was also marked by timing that never seemed to align. When Belly was ready, Conrad wasn't, and when Conrad wanted to reach out, Belly had already turned away. This back-and-forth dance shaped the entire journey that led to Season 3. Episode 10. Conrad has always been the quiet one. He isn't like his brother Jeremiah, who wears his heart on his sleeve. Instead, Conrad hides behind a wall. He struggles with expressing emotions, not because he doesn't feel them, but because he feels them too deeply. Losing his mom, watching the family fall apart, carrying the pressure of being the responsible one, all of it made him retreat inside himself. And in that retreat, Belly often mistook his silence for indifference, but beneath that silence, Conrad's love for Belly has always been there. Every protective gesture, every moment he tried to shield her from pain, every time his eyes softened when he looked at her, it all hinted at something bigger than he ever dared to say. The audience could see it, Belly could sense it, but Conrad never put it into words. And that silence created cracks in their relationship. Belly turned to Jeremiah, who gave her certainty, comfort, and clarity, the very things Conrad couldn't. Give it the time. By the time we reach the Season 3 finale, everything feels like it's falling apart. Belly is torn between what she thinks she wants and what her heart truly beats for. Jeremiah represents safety, but Conrad is the one she can never completely let go of. And for Conrad, the weight of staying quiet becomes unbearable. He has lost too much already: his mother, his sense of stability, his chance at happiness, and he knows he can't lose Belly too. Not without at least telling her the truth. That is the stage for his confession. Years of bottled-up emotions, missed chances, and painful misunderstandings come crashing down in one vulnerable moment. He doesn't plan it, he doesn't dress it up with fancy words. He just lets it spill out because he can't hold it in anymore. His love for Belly has always been there, steady and unshaken. And now he's finally brave enough to admit it. And when he says it, I will never not love you, the world seems to stop. The line is powerful because it's not dramatic or rehearsed. It's simple, almost clumsy in its repetition, but that's what makes it real. It's Conrad, raw and unfiltered, finally laying his heart bare in front of the one person who has always held it. This moment doesn't just shift the story, it validates everything fans have believed about Conrad all along. That behind the walls, behind the coldness, behind the mistakes, his love for Belly has always been unwavering. He may not have always shown it, but it was never gone. And now, in Episode 10, we finally hear it spoken out loud. There is a moment in every great love story where silence is no longer an option. For Conrad, that moment arrives like a wave he can't outrun. He has spent years protecting his heart with walls built from quietness, sarcasm, and distance. Yet in Episode 10, those walls finally crack. He looks at Belly and realizes that if he stays quiet now, he risks losing her forever, not just as the girl he loves, but as the person who has always been at the center of his world. And that's when the words come, raw and trembling, but truer than anything he has ever said: I will never not love you. The beauty of this confession lies in its imperfection. Conrad isn't delivering a grand speech. He isn't reciting poetry. He isn't even sure if saying it will change anything. But that's exactly what makes it so powerful. For once, Conrad is not overthinking, not holding back, not waiting for the right time. He speaks straight from the heart, letting Belly see the vulnerability he has hidden for so long. His voice carries the weight of years of longing, regret, and quiet devotion. It isn't just a confession. It's an unmasking. The scene itself carries a stillness that amplifies the emotion. Maybe they are outside under the night sky? Or maybe it's in a quiet corner away from everyone else. It doesn't matter, because the atmosphere is charged with an intimacy that only they can share. In that silence before he speaks, you can feel the tension. Belly doesn't know what's about to come, but the audience can sense it. We've been waiting for this, watching Conrad wrestle with his feelings since the very beginning. When he finally lets the words slip, it's like the air itself shifts. The phrase, "I will never not love you," is unlike any other love confession we've heard on the show. It's not a promise of forever. It's not a plea to be chosen. It's not even asking for anything in return. It's a declaration of fact. Conrad isn't saying he will love Belly forever. He's admitting he already does and that there's no universe where he won't. It's almost as if he's telling her, even if we fall apart, even if you walk away, even if you choose someone else, my love for you doesn't end. That's what makes the line unforgettable. It's love without conditions, love without bargaining, love without expectation, and for Conrad, that honesty is monumental. He has always been afraid of love because love means loss. He lost his mom, he felt the family slip through his fingers. And with Belly, he convinced himself that staying quiet would hurt less than admitting the truth. But this confession is the turning point. He stops protecting himself and, for once, chooses to be brave enough to risk it all. It's an act of surrender. By confessing, Conrad is saying, "This is who I am. This is how I feel. Take it or leave it." That is the courage Belly has been waiting to see from him all along. The power of the moment also lies in the silence that follows. After he speaks, there's a pause, of fragile, suspended instant where Belly doesn't answer right away. And in that pause, you can see everything flash across Conrad's face: fear, hope, desperation, and finally, relief. Because even if she doesn't say it back, even if she chooses Jeremiah, he has finally let go of the burden he has been carrying. He has finally said the words out loud. For the audience, it feels like time slows down. We've seen Conrad at his lowest, at his most distant, at his most closed off. But here, in this confession, he is stripped bare. The boy who hid his feelings behind moody stares and quiet heartbreak finally lays them in the open. And suddenly, he is no longer just the guarded older brother. He is a young man admitting, without hesitation, the depth of his love. This is why the confession resonates so deeply. It's not just about Belly hearing it, it's about Conrad finally freeing himself from years of silence. It's about him allowing himself to love openly, even if it terrifies him. And in that one unpolished, imperfect line, we understand everything. Why he pushed her away, why he stayed quiet, why he always looked at her like she was the sun he couldn't touch. Because the truth was there all along, he would never not love her. When Conrad finally says the words, "I will never not love you," the world doesn't just change for him, it changes for Belly too. For years, she had been chasing the truth of Conrad's heart. Every stolen glance, every moment where he pulled away, every time he gave her just enough hope only to leave her wondering, it all left Belly caught between doubt and desire. She wanted so badly to believe he loved her, but she was always afraid she was the only one who felt that deeply. Now, in this moment, all of those questions vanish. His words confirm what her heart always suspected. He has loved her all along. First, Belly doesn't know how to react. The confession doesn't come in a grand, sweeping gesture. It arrives almost softly, like an admission that slipped out against his will. That's what makes it even more shocking for her. She looks at Conrad, trying to process not only the words, but the years of silence they've just erased. Her heart races because she knows this isn't a casual statement, it's a lifetime of emotion finally spoken aloud. And the weight of that realization nearly knocks the breath out of her. The silence after his confession is not empty, it's electric. Belly is frozen, caught between the pull of everything. Conrad's words awaken in her and the life she has tried to build without him. In that pause, the history between them flashes like a reel. Summers at Cousins Beach, the awkward first kisses, the heartbreaks, the fights, the nights she cried over him, and the mornings she still found herself missing him. She realizes that Conrad's love has been there the whole time, hidden beneath his fear. And hearing it now is like seeing the sun break through storm. Clouds she thought would never clear, but Belly is not the same girl she was when this story began. She has been hurt. She has had to pick herself back up after Conrad walked away more than once, and so her response is complicated. Part of her wants to run into his arms and never let go, to finally let herself believe in the love she always dreamed of. But another part of her hesitates, afraid that if she gives in, the cycle of heartbreak will begin again. That hesitation makes the moment even more powerful, because it's not just about Conrad's confession, it's about Belly deciding whether her heart can risk trusting him again. The impact on Belly is also layered because of Jeremiah. He has been her comfort, the one who gave her certainty when Conrad couldn't. Belly knows that choosing Conrad might mean hurting Jeremiah in the deepest way possible, and that thought weighs heavily on her. Conrad's confession doesn't exist in a vacuum. It shakes the foundation of everything Belly thought she knew. She isn't just reacting to the boy in front of her. She's reckoning with the love triangle that has defined her summers, the choices that have pulled her in two directions, and the truth of where her heart really belongs. Still, no matter how conflicted she is, Belly can't deny the effect of those words. Her eyes well up, her breath catches, and she feels the kind of raw, unshakable love that she has been searching for. Because Conrad didn't just say he loves her, he said he will never not love her. It's a confession that goes beyond this moment. It means that even if they don't end up together, even if everything else falls apart, a part of him will always belong to her. And that realization is both beautiful and heartbreaking for Belly, because it confirms the depth of what they share, but also forces her to face how impossible it may be to walk away. The emotional impact lingers in the silence between them. Belly doesn't immediately say the words back, but her reaction speaks louder than anything she could put into sentences. The tears in her eyes, the trembling in her voice when she tries to respond, the way she looks at him like she's seeing him for the first time all over again, it all tells Conrad that she feels it too. She may not be ready to say it, she may not even know how to move forward, but in that moment, her heart is wide open. For the audience, Belly's reaction is a release. We've waded through her doubts, her heartbreaks, and her moments of anger. We've seen her torn between wanting someone steady and longing for someone who makes her feel alive. And when Conrad finally speaks, we see Belly's defenses crumble. We see the girl who fell in love with him years ago finally hear the words she needed. The impact isn't just on her, it's on everyone watching. Because this moment confirms that their love, no matter how messy, is real. It's undeniable. This is the kind of scene that stays with you, not because it's perfect, but because it feels true. Belly's response shows us the complicated nature of love. It isn't always clean. It isn't always immediate, and it doesn't always come with easy answers. But when she hears Conrad's confession, her world shifts. And even if she doesn't say it back right away, even if she still wrestles with her choices, the truth is clear. Belly has been waiting for this her whole life, and now that she's heard it, nothing will ever be the same. Conrad's confession isn't just a turning point for his relationship with Belly, it's one of the most symbolic and thematically rich moments of the summer I turned pretty. The line, "I will never not love you," carries layers of meaning that stretch far beyond a simple declaration. It encapsulates everything the series has been building toward: the mésages of growing up, the inevitability of first love, and the question of whether love is fate or choice. At its core, Conrad's words symbolize permanence. So much of Belly's journey has been about uncertainty, choosing between Jeremiah and Conrad, navigating heartbreak, and trying to understand who she is when the summers end. Yet here is Conrad, finally cutting through the chaos with something absolute. His confession is not tied to conditions, not tied to timing, not tied to the outcome of whether they end up together. It's love that exists without boundaries. This permanence mirrors the show's theme that some emotions are so deeply rooted they become part of who we are. No matter how much we try to fight them, they endure. The scene also symbolizes vulnerability. Conrad has always been the character who hides behind silence, who pushes people away rather than risk showing how deeply he feels. By confessing, he is embodying the theme of growth, the idea that real love requires honesty, even when it terrifies us. His line is simple, but it's also the bravest thing he's ever said. This growth connects back to one of the show's strongest messages, that love is not just about passion or desire, but about courage. To love someone fully, you must be willing to expose the parts of yourself you've kept hidden on a larger scale. The confession touches on the show's exploration of timing. From the very beginning, Belly and Conrad's love has been about missed moments and second chances. They are always just a little out of sync, always struggling to align their feelings. Conrad's words in episode 10 force us to ask, is love about timing, or is it about truth? If two people love each other deeply, can bad timing really keep them apart forever? This tension between timing and destiny has been woven throughout the series, and here it comes to a head. Conrad admits that no matter what happens, his love won't vanish, suggesting that maybe true love doesn't obey the rules of timing at all. For Belly, the symbolic weight of his confession forces her to confront her own heart. She must decide whether she sees Conrad's words as a chance to start over or as a bittersweet truth that comes too late. Her hesitation highlights another core theme of the story: choice. The series constantly asks whether we follow the path that feels safe or the path that feels right. Jeremiah is safety open, consistent, and reliable. Conrad is uncertainty, but also passion, history, and the kind of love that digs into your bones. By placing Conrad's confession so late in the season, the story puts Belly face to face with the hardest decision of her life. Thematically, the line also echoes the idea of loss and memory. Conrad has endured loss: his mother, his family's stability, his own peace of mind. By admitting his love, he's acknowledging that Belly is one thing he refuses to let slip into the category of lost. Even if she walks away, he will carry her with him. This idea resonates with viewers because it reflects real life. Sometimes, the people we love shape us so profoundly that, even if they are no longer by our side, they remain a permanent part of us. Looking forward, Conrad's confession has massive implications for the future of the story. It reopens the question of where Belly's heart truly lies. Fans know that Jeremiah offers her clarity, but Conrad offers her a once-in-a-lifetime kind of love. His words make it almost impossible for Belly to ignore the pull between them. Even if she tries to move forward with Jeremiah, the audience and Belly herself will always know that Conrad's love is waiting just beneath the surface. This sets up future episodes for emotional conflict, heartbreak, and perhaps even reconciliation. The confession also shifts Conrad's role in the narrative. Until now, he has often been the brooding figure in the background, the one who feels too much but says too little. With this confession, he steps into the light. He is no longer passive in Belly's story. He is actively fighting for her, not through grand gestures, but through honesty. That evolution makes him more than just a love interest. It makes him a fully realized character who has learned to embrace vulnerability. For the audience, the scene resonates because it mirrors the complexity of real love. Love isn't always neat. It doesn't always arrive at the right time. Sometimes it's messy, inconvenient, and painful. But that doesn't make it any less real. Conrad's words remind us that some connections can't be broken, no matter how many obstacles get in the way. And that's what keeps fans so deeply invested in this story. By the end of episode 10, we are left with a haunting question. Is Conrad's confession the beginning of a new chapter for him and Belly? Or is it a bittersweet truth that arrives too late to change their fate? The ambiguity is intentional. The writers want us to sit in that uncertainty, to feel the tension between hope and heartbreak. And that's what makes this scene so unforgettable. It doesn't give us easy answers. It gives us truth, raw and imperfect, the way love actually feels. For fans, Conrad's line is more than just a piece of dialogue. It's a promise that love, once spoken, can never be taken back. It's a reminder that some bonds are unshakable. And whether or not Belly chooses him in the end, we know this much: Conrad Fisher will never not love her, and that truth will echo through every moment of this story moving forward.